So here we are in the Buninyong Cemetery. Buninyong is a small town just south of Ballarat in Western Victoria. So that there, where you see the traffic, is the Midland Highway, which runs from the southern edge of Ballarat down to Geelong. Ballarat being the third biggest city in the state, Geelong being the second biggest city in the state. And so if you look about 5k's that way, we have Ballarat, and about 3k's that way we have Buninyong, a small town of Buninyong. Now the reason I'm here today is this is a recent project of the Buninyong Cemetery Trust, and it traces and commemorates the input and contribution of the Chinese in the Buninyong goldfields, and this is called the Chinese Graves Project. Previously this was just a bare field with 3 grave markers, which you see over there, and there are 14 graves here containing the bodies of 24 Chinese. It's interesting that we have a look at this. Before we have a look at this, gold was discovered at a place called Hiscox, which is just literally just over there where you see that sort of dead tree. Nothing remains of Hiscox. In August 1851, local blacksmith Thomas Hiscox was out prospecting. He discovered a significant amount of gold. Depending on who you talk to, it may have been the first place in Victoria where gold was discovered. Some people suggest it was discovered at Clunes. Some people suggested it was discovered at Warrandyte, northeast of Melbourne. Whoever discovered it first, it was all within weeks, and the discovery at what became Hiscox and the Ballarat goldfields kicked off the Ballarat gold rush and discovery of some of the richest finds, an amazing amount of wealth, stupendous wealth, and had a significant input into the history and the democracy of Ballarat and indeed Australia. Okay, so it says here the Chinese on the Buninyong goldfields from the late 1850s and during the 1860s, many hundreds of Chinese travelled from areas in southern China such as Guangdong province to the Buninyong goldfields to search for gold or to set up in small support businesses. Many of them were great merchants. Most arrived by ship at Robe in South Australia and walked the 450 kilometres to this district. This was to avoid a heavy arrival tax of £10 imposed on Chinese immigrants by the Victorian Government Act of 1850, and that act also placed a restriction of 1 Chinese person per tonne of ship's cargo. And you just think they arrived and walked overland through unformed roads and tracks, and there's a lot of snakes, a lot of vegetation, high temperatures. South Australia gets into the 40s, and the deprivation and the absolute determination of these people is just amazing. So they settled in camps nearby, such as Blacklead, which was this area, and Hiscox, which I've already pointed out, and Napoleon's, which is about 10k's to the south of us. The original Buninyong Cemetery was right in the centre of town and moved here in the 1860s, and it seems that this burial section was first used after 1873. Several other people being Quang, 1859, Fat Chong, 1859, Chow, 1860, and O Fat, 1872, are being recorded as unmarked graves in the other section. So there are 24 Chinese men buried here. It's interesting that 2 were killed in mining accidents and 5 were recorded as being found dead. It's kind of sad that you wonder how they met their end. And that up until this year, 2023, many of them lay here in unmarked and uncared for graves. 3 of the original gravestones with carved inscriptions in Cantonese are now in place above the actual graves of the deceased, and all graves, as per tradition, face to the east. So this is, in 2023, major works were undertaken to better respect the site and its history, and to mark the 14 graves containing the bodies of 24 Chinese buried here. Marker stones with names both in English and Cantonese, local home locations and date of burial have now been placed at the foot of all occupied graves as listed below. It talks about imposing stone unicorns, but I have yet to see. I presume they are coming. And it lists the names of the 24 people who now lie here permanently. Very, very sad, but it's nice that after 150 years, their location, their graves are now marked and treated with respect. So, a lovely little project by the Buninyong Cemetery Trust with support from local charities and businesses, and it's really, really nice to see. So as we walk forward through the gateway, it's notable that the term R, which precedes many of the plaques here, many of the names in Cantonese, is just a sign of respect. It's sad that when it says unknown, you think that was somebody's loved one, and here they lie in a cemetery beside the road, unknown, unnamed. But 3 of the graves are lucky enough, and unfortunately I'm facing the wrong way. I'm facing into the sun, so you may not be able to see this, but they have the original stone grave markers. So, if you're driving on the Midland Highway between Ballarat and Buninyong or down to Geelong, this is literally just off to the side of the road. Drop by. It's a lovely spot. Pay your respects. Have a look at the new project. Have a look at some of the Caucasian gravestones. There's a lot of Cornishmen, a lot of miners. This place is absolutely steeped in history. It's a lovely spot just to sort of catch your breath. Okay, that's all for now. Hope you enjoyed it.